Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble. Fielders talent crumble.
I guess you're waiting for me. Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. You're dialed set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here, and we broadcast 2 hours Monday through Friday right here on Genesis Communications Network. And if you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. There's a link to your instructors on the website, USAPREPARES.com. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. I'm Vincent Finelli, and today we're going to be talking about states' rights. Carole Chapline's with us. Welcome, Carole.
Greetings, everybody, and greetings from the great state of Ohio. That's where I'm sitting, in the great state of Ohio, sitting out here in my office looking out on Lake Erie.
Carole, if I'm not mistaken, you might be considered an activist. Is that correct?
An activist, you know what? I really don't do a lot of sign carrying in front of the congressman's office, actually, but I am involved. I am involved in what's going on in my state. I am involved.
Yeah, and I don't think you have to be a placard carrying person marching around the block with a bunch of other people to be an activist. I think you just need to literally take action, make your views known, pick up the telephone, call those people who have been elected, if we'll call it that, or selected for election, and make our views known. And when they don't seem to do the things that they promised, you call them on the carpet and you say, yo, I just want to let you know that what you said and what you're doing are two different things. And, you know, those of us in the village consider that lying.
Yes,
so,
shrinking back on their duties, and yes, all of that.
So, Carole, you are a broadcaster. Can you tell us about your broadcast, and then we'll get started into how do we take our states back?
Okay. Well, I do a live program every Sunday night on blogtalkradio.com, USA Live. And what I do is that because it is Ohio's live State Hall meeting, that's kind of like the subtitle, Ohio's live State Hall meeting. And so what you're going to hear is when you come in is you're going to hear what is going on in Ohio. Well, that's going to be boring, Carole, what's going on in Ohio. No, actually it isn't, because what I'm going to bring to you, the news that I'm going to bring to you, what is going on in Ohio, believe me, it's going on in your state also. So let's talk about it. If somebody from New York is listening, which they do, and I bring up a subject of what I'm discussing that's going on in here in Ohio, whether it's with our governor, Kasich, or if it's with another state rep or a state senator, or a piece of legislation. We've got some very vital bills going on right now. What kind of bills are pending in your House? What kind of bills are pending in your Senate? Do you agree with them? Are they good for your state? And so it's those kinds of things that we talk about. And then New York will call in and say, well, yeah, we have something similar to that. But it's discussing, it's bringing the states back. You know what? Because you can't call the federal government and talk with them, okay? I can't call down in the federal government. I can't call because our U.S. congressman down there is mine is Dave Joyce. I can't call Dave Joyce's office and talk to his staffers. I can say, I can give a very formal statement on why I'm calling, but to really sit and chat with him, you can't do that. I need somebody that's real, somebody that I can touch, someone that really cares what I'm talking about. And so it's those kinds of things, Vincent, that I try to get the people to get their minds wrapped around. Get it out of the Washington, D.C., because it's nothing but a slime pit, and it's destroyed our country. Not destroying, it has destroyed this nation. We can restore it through the 10th Amendment that our forefathers gave us because they knew how vital it was. And we will regain our power through each state joining back together as united states. That's what I do on Sunday evening.
Mm-hmm. And so we can listen to you by going to Blog Talk Radio and look for
blogtalkradio.com/USA Live. And it's call in. I take calls. I have guests. And there's also a message board there so you can leave links, comments. That's not a chat room, folks. It's not a chat room. It's for specific information. If you have a link for us or a book title or an article or something that's useful that can be passed on. I don't want to know that your uncle stopped over and made you mad yesterday. Okay? No, I don't want to know that. That's not what we talk about. All right? So it's a message board. Yeah.
Carole, when I lived in the Commonwealth of Virginia, there were some local issues that really bothered me. And it was pretty much a farming community, and the people who had the best jobs in the county, in the entire county, worked for the government. There was really no industry there. So, believe it or not, the UPS driver was one of the highest paid people in the county. The UPS driver. There's a little UPS hub there in the county. And the teachers were among the highest paid in the county. And these are the people who complain that they don't get paid enough, right? So they were among the highest paid. And for certain, the county administrator, and he was the highest paid guy, as well as the superintendent of schools and the principals. So the school teachers, the principals, the superintendent of schools, the county administrator, and the UPS drivers were making the most money of those who had jobs. Mm-hmm. Well, in this farming community, we had two things happen. One was a dump was being proposed to be set on top of an aquifer. And it was a local issue, and people were like, "Are you kidding? We're going to have a dump? Who is for this?" And then we found that the entire county government was all for it. They were telling us that it will create jobs and it'd be really wonderful. And what we found out was that some of us did research. We went to the county records, and we found out that the page in the record book about the land that was purchased and sold for this dump was missing. It's like, who's involved in this transaction? And we believe that it was the county government. They were involved in the purchasing and the selling of this land because the land was transacted for what we had learned was 2 or 3 times the going rate. And the county government was not interested in yielding. This dump was coming, no matter what. This dump was coming. And it got to be a really nasty fight. Really nasty. The police were called. They showed up in riot gear. They came to arrest me because I was going to speak at a large meeting. And this was before I was on the radio. I was just some guy that happened to have a farm. And I was looked at as the point man. And, what I'm saying is, if allow these things to happen, if you want your little community to be dumped on, literally, just do nothing and you'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do nothing. And the government will run over you, your local government. So what you have to do is you have to be involved.
Yes.
You just can't leave it up to somebody else.
No.
Because there may be no one else. You may be the only one to get this thing started.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And then when you do, you have a friend, a brother-in-law or whatever, somebody that you've known for years and they want to run for, county commissioner. Okay, well, you support, hey, listen, I've known John for years and, we put him in and so he'll do a good job. Watch out, folks. Watch out. Because when you get power comes greed, and with greed comes corruption. And, so you have to, that's just like, I kind of put it in the light of, you have 3 children. You put them out in the fence, in the fenced-in yard. They're safe. You can put them out there. The fence is safe. They can't, okay, so you're busy, so you can get back in and the mother can be busy doing her housework, all right? Well, but she'll check on them every once in a while. Yeah, no, they're fine. Better watch out, folks. No, they're not fine. They're either digging a tunnel under the fence or they're going to climb over it, okay? They're not going to stay put. And so that's what you have to do with those that you elect. You have to stay with them and watch over them. Don't get in their face and don't get obnoxious. But be their friend. Just be their friend. Be their support. How can you stop in their office? Can you help stuff envelopes for a mailing that they have? Because I'll tell you, your state local. Let me tell you about your state elected officials. They have a budget to none to work on, and they have one staffer in their office, and that poor kid. And they're usually just college students or recently grad from law school or something like that, or a recent graduate from college. And they're trying to make their mark through working out of the state capitol. And they're all just a bunch of great guys. I've met many, many, many of them. I have their cell phone numbers and we chat back and forth. But it's getting involved. Don't just elect them and go out of the telephone booth. Telephone booth. All right, here it comes. Don't just walk out of the voting booth and think you're done. No, you're not.
Great point. Carole Chapline's with us. I'm Vincent Finelli. We're talking about states' rights. And Carole, when we come back, I'm going to tell you a little story about how I asked for 100 copies of the Missouri State Constitution from our elected representative. I'll tell you what happened. We'll be right back.
Okay.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson on placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Class, Carole Chapline's with us, and we're talking about states' rights. And many of you may remember that we had a Get Prepared Expo, March of this year, and in Lebanon, Missouri. And one of the things that we were teaching a class at the expo, a 1-hour summary of how to defend your rights by teaching the state constitution of Missouri. Mm. Tom Martz was with us. He's one of our instructors, and he's with the Locke and Smith Foundation. Now, this is an organization that monitors legislation for constitutionality here in Missouri. So the elected representatives are graded, and there's an awards banquet once a year, and they pick whoever voted the most constitutionally. Okay, the best voting record based on the Constitution of the state of Missouri. And so he taught this seminar, and one of the things that I wanted to do was make sure that he had enough constitutions to hand out. The Missouri State Constitution, the bound copy, it's paperback. And the state, we the villagers pay for the printing of this. So I called our state representative, and I talked to a young staffer, kind of person that you're talking about. Talked to a young staffer, and I said, "Hi, I'm Vincent Finelli, and we have this preparedness event, and I'd like to get some copies of the Constitution to give out during this class." Now, you would think that me calling and saying we're going to teach the Missouri Constitution at an event where there are thousands of people in attendance, they'd go, "Wow, how can we get involved?" Well, it really didn't happen. What happened was they said, "How many would you like?" And I said, "I'd like about 100. Now, if there are 48 in a case, 2 cases would be fine. You don't have to make it 100. But, whatever is a convenient number, around 100. And they said, okay. They called me back and they said, "Do you know how much the shipping would cost for 100 copies?" And I said, "Actually, I do. The maximum that it would be is $34.55. If you sent it media rate, U.S. Postal Service, $34.55. They were kind of surprised that I knew that number. And and they kind of said, "That's a lot of money. That comes out of our budget." And I said, "Oh, Oh, do you want me to pay for this? Is that what you're asking me? And they said, no, we don't want you to pay for it. And I said, so what are you saying? They said, well, we just want to let you know shipping's really expensive and it's coming out of our budget. And I said, did we elect you? Is that what we did? Did we put you there to represent our interests? I mean, maybe I called the wrong number. Mm-hmm. They said, no, you called the right number. What I'm saying is, this guy was complaining that it was going to cost $34.55 to send us 100 copies and teach a class in what they are all about.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? So, but it does take that phone call, and what I found works the best is asking for help. Okay? Because the character that I play and the character that I played when I was on that phone call is Columbo, that TV detective who's always confused, needs a little bit of help, a little bit of advice. He knows what's going on. He just appears to be confused, and he appears to need some help. Yeah. And that seems to work very well for me. Mm-hmm. So I asked them for their help, and most people don't want to turn down help. They really don't want to turn you down if you need their help. Mm-hmm. So that's the way I've been doing. What has been successful for you, Carole?
Oh, geez, when you ask that, that's a pretty broad statement. What has been successful for me?
Yeah, is there a technique that you use?
Oh, well, and again, with our state reps, with promoting, getting the word out. What are you thinking of when you say that? What is?
Well, what I'm saying is your strategy to educate them? Is your strategy to ask for their assistance and kind of?
Yeah, all of the above. My strategy is to be, and how to get involved and get to know them up front and personal is, that if you don't know them already personally ahead of time and they're newly, elected and they're running a campaign, not newly elected, but if they're running a campaign, is to call their campaign office and say, is there anything I can do? Go in, meet the people that are working for them. Meet what is going on behind the scenes. Meet the chatter hear the chatter behind the scenes. Get to know them on a personal level. And it's going to become really personal to you. And that's what's going to draw your involvement in caring what's going on in your county and state.
No way. Is that a real
Hold that thought. We're going right to a
bullet
break.
necklace with matching earrings, you'll notice.
Those are awesome. Where'd you get them?
Dave found them at PatriotNecklace.com.
Wow.
They have a variety of calibers and necklaces and earrings and keychains.
PatriotNecklace.com?
PatriotNecklace.com.
Your choice of caliber bullet includes a rugged American-made stainless steel dog tag chain. A percentage of every sale goes to military and service-related charities. And get a discount by entering GCN at checkout. Show your patriotism and support our troops with a bullet necklace from PatriotNecklace.com.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah. When your child has a sore throat, you need to know when to get help. The doctor recommended Say Ah Sore Throat Exam is your solution. The scientifically designed oral retractor offers a clear view of the throat, relaxing the tongue and minimizing gag reflex. Compare with a medical grade chart, website, and app. Then you'll know just what to tell your doctor. A wellness plan in your hands in minutes. Go to SayAHHnow.com. SayAhNow.com. The new mainstay for every family's first aid kit. Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common-sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
I am a 47-year-old female and had a heart attack in 2005. This is Alice from New Jersey. I still get angina, even with 4 stents. I was taking nitro 2 or 3 times a week. The very first day after taking Heart and Body Extract, The chest pain was gone. Now I don't wear a nitro patch.
Learn the secrets of an effective, natural, 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation at hbextract.com.
Did you know that drinking pure, high alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Okay, honey, I have to ask, and be honest here. Have you been taking a little blue pill? Because things have been pretty good in the bedroom lately.
No, I swear.
You didn't pick anything up at the Pharmacia last month in Cancun?
No.
Well, something's different.
I have been taking that heart and body extract you bought me.
But that's for your heart and to control your cholesterol.
Well, I read HB extract also promotes healthy prostate function.
I never guessed it would work this well,
But you're glad it did.
Oh, yeah.
Heart and Body Extract is a 100% organic formula that promotes a strong heart, healthy arterial flow, better circulation, improves erectile and prostate gland function, and provides youthful energy, strength, and stamina. Find out more at heartandbodyextract.com. Heart and Body Extract paired with healthy heart choices is a winning combination. Call toll-free to order or for free information. 1-866-295-5305. 1-866-295-5305.
You know, it doesn't take much to get me excited, and I mean in a positive way. I just heard a commercial. Ron Allen, the big voice, he just did the commercial talking about the USA Prepares number, and he announced that it was 605-477-3249. So we have a new number. It's on an Indian reservation. It's a non-federal number. It doesn't cost any extra. So if you have unlimited long distance, you can listen to USA Prepares at this number, 605-477-3249. 605-477-3249. Now that voice that you heard doing that announcement is Ron Allen. He's the same guy that does the intro and the outro of this broadcast. And he's great. He really is. So, the big voice, Ron Allen. Hey. So you can listen to us that way. Michael, let's see, Michael in New York, welcome. You've joined us.
Well, thank you. Good morning. I just had a quick question. I was wondering, when can we start hanging these dirtbags? You know what really gets to me? I mean, appreciate you having your guest on, and this is what we have to do. The information's invaluable because we have to take our government back from the local level up. But, I just hate pussyfooting with these guys because technically they're public servants. They're not just representatives, but they're our servant. We are supposed to be their master. So, for example, Vincent, you explained how those dirtbags were, Vincent, I mean, $35 and change. That's got to come out of our budget. I mean, we got to allocate millions to our new municipality building, so we all got plush offices with nice air conditioning while we kick all of, our constituents off their property because we got to jack up their illegal property tax. So, that $35, I don't think we can handle that, Vincent.
Yeah, well,
that's what we're dealing with here. $34.55, for the book rate. Now that's up to 70 pounds. 70 pounds. Now, if it's less than 70 pounds, it would cost less than that. So anyway, what I'm saying is that, it was not a lot of money. But, Michael, you brought something to mind. As you were saying that, I had this flashback about how the police, the sheriff's office came. I was scheduled to go on stage at a standing room only meeting in a cafeteria of a school system in Virginia. So I was ready to go on stage and the cops came and they were dressed in riot gear. And one of the guys, who was on our team, said, "What's this all about?" And they said, "Well, Finelli's probably going to start a riot and we're here to make sure that doesn't happen." So we got some Americans here. We got some real Americans here. We understand. It's been reported. Real Americans are present somewhere in this building. And they're going to start divulging the real truth about the rackets going on here. And so we're here to prevent that.
Yeah. No, Mike, let me just, for those of you who think, I'm a big guy, that is not the case. I'm 5'7", 138 pounds. Okay. So that's like soaking wet.
Yeah. And you make up for three men twice your size, Vincent.
Well, all I know is, I'm generally not the physically largest guy in any room. Okay. And what came to mind as you were describing that was when I was in Virginia and the police came in riot gear. For me. It came for me. And then twice in Missouri, I was just an attendee at an event. I wasn't scheduled to speak. I'm just some guy walking around at a convention and the cops came twice. Multiple police cars, fully armed, armored vests. I mean, all that. And what I'm saying is they have this great show of force. Now, you have to be ready for this kind of stuff if you are going to, stand up against them. And it just came to mind. They are really worried about we the villagers. If a person is speaking out as you speak out, they get worried. And, it wasn't like I was armed at any of those three situations. I wasn't. I was not armed. And it was unusual that I was not armed, but I wasn't because I kind of thought, you know what? I'll bet these guys are going to call the cops on me just for me being there. And they did. But what you can do is to, in my opinion, is to single out these elected representatives and then go visit them or send them letters, without return addresses telling them that they're fired. And they get this uneasy feeling. And then they decide, you know what? I don't know where this is coming from. Or when they see a bunch of people standing up against them, they think, this is uncomfortable. They don't like being uncomfortable. They like the pleasures that they receive as a result of being in office. They like the perks, the bonuses, the bribes, all of that. They like that. Their wives seem to like it. They don't even necessarily know that their husbands are being bribed, but they have more stuff than they used to have. So their wives kind of like that. But they don't realize that there's a price, and eventually, we the villagers kind of rise up when we've had it, and then we go visit them. And that's the coolest thing. When you point them out at church, oh man, they can't stand it. You literally point at them, and you stare at them, and you tell the person next to you, that's them, that's him, that's her, that's his wife. Those two over there, those are his little girls. They hate it. They feel really uncomfortable, and they leave. And then
only
then they
when
talk
you're on
among
the wrong side of the truth, Vincent, does it do people act that way. Only when they're on the wrong side of the truth and the law, they know they're crooks, they know what they're doing, they're in a racket, and like any cockroach, when that flashlight hits them in that dark area, boy, they got to scatter quick because, my God, the spotlight's on them, and that's the reason for it. But I just wish the Americans, to me, though, they don't get it. They're so asleep. Like around here, very expensive. New York, Mid-Hudson Valley, one of the most expensive places in the country, maybe the world, to live. Now, you drive around, you see this multi-million-dollar huge municipality structure going up for, the local government. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Oh, yeah, that's great. And yet your property tax is going up. You're all fleeing out of state because you can't afford to live here anymore, while your supposed servant, you're the master, your servant's living better than you are, as they supposedly serve you. Now, once all the people of the area are living comfortably, they're able to retain the fruits of their labor without anybody of these crooks supposedly serving them, stealing it out of their pockets under all these phony or illegal taxes. I have no problem with legitimate taxes. I'm talking about illegal, like property tax. And so once they're all situated and they're enjoying the fruits of their labors as it should be in this republic, constitutional republic, then let the public servants have a little air conditioning in the little office to stay cooler during the hot summer. But until then, they should have a little shanty shack with just the right resources to get their job done, and that's it. No brand new car, no beautiful accessories in the beautiful office building. It's incredible. It just gets to me no end. I just don't get how the people tolerate it, but they're all dumbed down to the point like good sheeple where, it's sad. It's really sad.
Michael, we have some very large homes here in the United States, and as you were saying this, I was thinking about a large residence, on the other side of the ocean. Now, we have large homes. We the villagers might say 4,000 square feet. That's huge. 6,000, that's really huge. 8,000, wow. 10,000, that's, now we're getting into movie star status. Well, how about 828,000, square feet of floor space? 828, that's Buckingham Palace. 828,000 square feet. Opened in 1703, Buckingham Palace. Now that's the London residence and the principal workplace of the monarchy of the United Kingdom, right? It's a pretty big place. Yeah. So who paid for that?
Who else? All the slaves down here in the dirt.
So when you look at any city, hamlet or town, you'll find out that the government buildings, the banks, are the largest, best quality buildings.
That's right.
In any town, city, or hamlet. Mark my words. They are the biggest and the best. How is it? And none of those, the banks, insurance companies and cities, okay? The banks, insurance companies, and government buildings are the best constructed, the most durable, generally speaking, the most expensive to maintain. And they don't, not one of those buildings makes a product. It's not like,
that's right.
Raw materials comes in one end and automobiles comes out the other, or, electronics comes out, as a finished product, or
right.
Pipes
and
or anything.
whatever profit that they may be generating is going back to the local constituents that they tax a desk to build all that. Yeah, no, that's not what's occurring. That's right, Vincent, exactly.
And here's another thing that I've observed. If you look at Mayberry RFD, the television show, the police department was Spartan. I mean, it's there's nothing ornate there, okay? It was minimum expenses to keep that facility operational. Well, that's the way it was in the 1950s and the 1960s. The police departments didn't have fancy anything. There were benches, there were lousy seats and chairs for the employees to sit on, lousy desks. Now, that's not the case. Now we have comfortable seating, we have beautiful lighting, we have hangings. These buildings are more expensive. And if you look at the police cars, they don't have little tiny hubcaps anymore. They don't have bench seats. They don't have vinyl, bench seats. These guys are riding around in pocket rockets, with, magnesium alloy wheels, big engines burning lots of fuel. These vehicles that the government's riding, SUVs, these are top-of-the-line vehicles that, we can only wish we had, right?
That's right, Vincent. Vincent, if I can make a couple quick points after the break and let you go?
Sure.
Thank you.
Carole Chapline's with us. Michael from New York's with us. I'm Vin Finelli. This is USA Prepares. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
No way. Is that a real bullet necklace?
No, it's a 9mm bullet necklace with matching earrings, you'll notice.
Those are awesome. Where'd you get them?
Dave found them at PatriotNecklace.com.
Wow.
They have a variety of calibers and necklaces and earrings and keychains.
PatriotNecklace.com?
PatriotNecklace.com.
Your choice of caliber bullet includes a rugged American-made stainless steel dog tag chain. A percentage of every sale goes to military and service-related charities. And get a discount by entering GCN at checkout. Show your patriotism and support our troops with a bullet necklace from PatriotNecklace.com.
The human body is more than 60% water. Your brain and muscles are 75% water. And your blood is 92% water. Water is vital to your body, and alkalizing your water is the key to keep it running at its best. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops keep your entire body healthy, boosts energy, promotes weight loss, and even fights cancer. Call 800-518-7615 or go to alkavision.com to find out more. That's ALKAvision.com.
Did you know that select musical tones have the power to heal? By listening to 7 amazing songs that contain these tones, you can experience the power of music therapy.
I used to work in a pretty stressful atmosphere, but I started using the whole tones in the office, and I'm experiencing more focus, motivation, peace, and better relationships.
WholeTones99.com is a unique music therapy program featuring 7 secret ancient healing frequencies uncovered in the music of King David. Now you too can unlock the healing secrets of the Bible, as we are offering a free sample of this music so that you can discover their power to heal, relieve stress, and break negative cycles.
I use the tones to calm my 5, 3, and 2-year-olds to stop the fighting, and it works.
Now you can experience the healing music therapy in the comfort of your own home or office. Visit WholeTones99.com and get a free song. Visit WHOLETones99.com today for your free song. That's WholeTones99.com. WholeTones99.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Carole Chapline's with us. Michael from New York is with us, and we're talking about taking our states back. And I just want to mention, for those of you who are wondering, did we get the copies of the Missouri State Constitution? We absolutely did. And I asked the city manager of Lebanon, Missouri, after they sent the cops over to the expo. I said, "You guys have a copy of the Missouri State Constitution?" And he said, yeah, I got it in my car somewhere, but we don't go by that. We don't go by that. We go by we got our own policies and procedures. Can you imagine? So, there's some serious questions. A lot of us don't believe that the Constitution's in play. Michael from New York, you had some comments. Please continue.
Thank you, Vincent. It's obvious the Constitution is not in effect in our country, and property tax is the most obvious example. When I questioned the legitimacy of that at a local tax department a few years ago, I went in, I actually called in first and requested a copy of the law that says I have to pay property tax as a private property owner, not commercial. And boy, I threw them way off. That was a curveball. They never heard such a thing. And, we got to look into it. So, yeah, take your time, fine. I was very courteous, very professional. I was dealing with women, very courteous, professional, chivalrous. And a couple of months go by, I'm paying the tax, and I'm Michael. I called. Here he is. So speak with the supervisor. Well, Michael, we can't find it. I said, well, geez, don't you find that strange? She goes, no. And I'm looking at her, and I wanted to say, in that nice municipality building, lady, you're lucky there's no Americans around here, because they'd hang you on the spot for that one. You're telling me you can't find a copy of the law that says I have to pay this, and that means it's extortion. That's all you got going here. And you don't find it strange means you're complicit in this at all. You're not now curious. Boy, isn't that strange? I can't find the law here. I got to look into this further. And so that's the clear example. But, ultimately what we're dealing with is that these public servants who are supposed to be our servants, we're their master, they have no business in government as a business because they're not producers. What you were referring to describing previously, Vincent, is simply that we're all producers. We're all working for a living. We're making something or providing a service, and a profit's generated. And that's what spurs the economy on. Now, the government today is in business, but they don't produce anything. And they have to pay for overpaid employees by taxing the hell out of the producers. And now we're at the point where they drove the producers right into the ground. They're gone. So now the country has no future since most of the population are non-producers. There's hardly any producers left. Just from that simple equation, the country has no future. It's over. They killed it. And just as an example, you look at your local school board and your superintendent. Our superintendent around here is making over $200,000 a year. Doing what? I want to follow that fat lard ass, everywhere he goes for the week and see what he does. He doesn't do nothing except promote Common Core now. And so, when I was asked to run for trustee years ago, right? So I said, okay. I go to the Republican convention, a little rinky-dink setup. And I give my a speech, and for my nomination for a trustee here, I give my speech, and I said, "Look, thank you for everything. I'm not loyal to any party. I'm loyal to the Constitution. Number one. Number two, I don't want to get paid because it's a duty. It's not a job. I'll serve my term, set a precedent, and then step down and let the next replacement do the same thing. Take the duty on without getting paid. That's how it should be. And last, I will pursue property tax since it's illegal. Well, of course, they all looked at me like, who the heck? What the heck? And we can't allow this guy around. And then last, when they kept saying, Mike, we got photo ops, for all the Republican nominees and stuff, we're meeting here and here, I totally ignored them. And, I said, look, guys, I'm not loyal to the party. I'm an American loyal to the Constitution. I have no interest in patronizing with you guys. And so this is what we're dealing with.
Carole, quick comments?
No. We're going to go out for a commercial. We'll be back.
Yeah, actually, we're actually going out. We're going out for top of the hour news.
Oh my goodness! I just looked at the clock. That's right. I just want to leave you with one thing, Jen. As John Kennedy said, the president, ask not what you can do for your country, ask what the country can do, what you can do for your country. Ask not what your state can do for you. Ask what you can do for your state.
There you go. And let's hold them accountable. Carole Chapline is...
That's right. Thank you all.
Has been with us. Thank you so much. And Michael from New York, thank you. I'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Friends, this is Alex Jones for MidasResources.com. For more than 15 years, I have exclusively used Midas Resources for all my precious metal needs. Whether it's bullion or collectibles you're looking for, Midas Resources is simply the best. I own my gold as a hedge against inflation. This Federal Reserve fiat currency could go the way of the Deutschmark and the Weimar Republic anytime. In these historically dangerous times, it makes sense to physically hold gold and silver. Midas already has some of the best deals in the industry. But if you give them a call and mention the radio special, they will give you a list of the day's super specials. Midas brokers are standing by to answer all your questions at 800-686-2237. They also have a lot of informative free literature explaining the opportunities and risk of holding precious metals. They are ready to answer your questions at 800-686-2237. Again, that's 800-686-2237.
We've all heard the news stories. Another shooting. And they're getting worse. That's why Infidel Body Armor introduces Infidel Fridays. Exclusive 24-hour insider deals to save you money and possibly save your life. Make it a favorite when you log on to InfidelBodyArmor.com. Then be sure to visit each and every Infidel Friday to get special insider pricing, but for 24 hours only. That's InfidelBodyArmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
Healthy, organic, fresh fish, robust, mouth-watering vegetables, all from your home. It's called aquaponics. This brilliant, self-sustaining protein and veggie system is perfect for year-round growing. Know exactly where your food is coming from. Aquaponicssource.com is the one-stop shop for all your needs. Fish, fish food, plumbing, full systems, classes, and more. Learn to build your own system. Go to aquaponicssource.com for a free guide to aquaponics. That's aquaponicssource.com.
Everyone all set? Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. I just wanted to say that during the commercial breaks, I get a chance to talk with our engineer John, and as we get really close to going live, I mean within seconds, John will say to me, "We're going live in 10 seconds." I go, "It's like always the same thing. Do we have to?" and I'm glad he doesn't take me seriously. This hour we're going to talk with someone who calls in to USA Prepares, someone who's been to our meetups, the expos, someone whom I have met in his home state, and someone who is a brilliant thinker. And we're going to talk about radio, among other things. Welcome, Mike Parsons.
Greetings.
Mike, you have You and I have spent some time together, and it's always delightful spending time with you. I value your input, the way you look at things. You've got a great perspective on things, and you and I come to very much the same conclusions, very close to around the same time, and we have very similar opinions of things. I mean, we're thinking very much alike, and I enjoy chatting with you, and I'm so glad you're here with us today. And one of the things that we wanted to talk about was you had a radio show at one time, and I'm not sure why you stopped broadcasting, but you're considering broadcasting again. Tell us about the radio program that you used to do and the kinds of things you used to talk about.
Well, like many things in life, sometimes the mother of necessity is a problem that you face. And I had never had any intention of being a radio talk show host. But then again, I'd never planned on running for office neither until the necessity prevented it, or basically created the scenario in which there was no other choice. And in my case, with trying to get the truth out about the corruption within the county and the state where I lived, the only way to do it was to get on the radio. And because I had been a frequent flyer on several local radio talk shows where I would call in constantly, giving them information, the owner of the station kind of became accustomed to my voice and said, "Who is this fella, and does he want his own show?" So I was invited to come into the studio, and I spent about an hour just answering calls and going over information. And according to the host of that show, it was the highest number of callers they'd ever received by any guest. And so they invited me to come back the next week, and I did. And then that show precipitated a request to come back the following day, and then the next day, and then the next day. And the guy said, "You know what, you just need to start your own show." And of course, at that time, as most radio people know, you're either buying your airtime or you're reading someone else's script, and thereby they pay you. And in this case, because I'm reading no one's script, I had to pay to play. And so, being able to afford to do it at that time, I was able to do that. And I was able to try to present some information that people in the Memphis area had never heard or hadn't heard in a long time. And it's one of those things, in order to plant seeds, to be a farmer, well, you've got to get out in the field. And that's effectively what this is a ministry in the field of radio. And being that I had that opportunity up until the time I was basically put in a cage for telling the truth and trying to protect my family from a criminal who attacked us without provocation. Here recently, I've been contacted again by the same owner of the same radio station to find out if I was interested in going back on the radio. And frankly, I hadn't even thought about it. And it all boils down to the fact that they have a time slot. It's following the Alex Jones show in the afternoon, which is a very desirable slot. But as before, it costs. And if I can find sponsors that want to run ads and sponsor the show, then I can do it. If not, then I won't. So it's that simple. It's not an issue where I have a choice either way. That's just the way it is. But and I haven't been out there calling on people to see if they want to advertise, because I realize that the people that I call and speak to on a routine basis, such as you, Vincent, you're dealing with what I was dealing with then. I mean, and as your operator, board operator, he has that, what they call a pucker factor. As the numbers count down, you get more and more concerned about, well, is the guest going to call in? And I tell you, being a former flight line operator and manager for Federal Express, it's like putting together a 1,000,000-piece puzzle in 2.1 hours. Every day. You've got a new puzzle, and you've got to fit these pieces onto these planes, and then you've got to get those planes in the air by a certain time. And if you don't meet your window, well, you don't keep that job. So every day, this is an adrenaline rush that you've got to get this done, and you've got to get all these employees to do what they don't want to do. They want to get paid, they want to go home, They don't really want to push these containers around and move these boxes, but that's the job. And in radio, you've got to get the information out. You've got a clock. You've got all these other things. You're operating within an arena there where you've got so many things. They say women multitask, and they do. Us guys were designed for one thing at a time. But as a radio operator or flight line manager, you have to multitask, and you have to juggle many things at one time. And so that's the nature of the beast, and I hope that John is, up to the task today.
John is fabulous. I love working with our engineer, John. I really do. And we have a great rapport. We chat. And you're absolutely right, Mike. We are juggling a lot of things. I guess maybe this broadcast will be about maybe the inside of radio, a little peek at what it looks like from our side of the microphone. And, for example, you mentioned juggling a lot of things. I've been asked by Genesis Communications Network to be on camera. Now, one of our friends, Mike Rivero, is on camera, and he does very well being on camera while he's broadcasting. And I said, no, you really you do not want to see me on camera, while I'm on the radio. And here's why. I mean, during the breaks, I'm on the phone. I'm talking with, for example, I will call and make sure that our instructor has the correct phone number. Our instructor has, everything he or she needs to be on the air. We do this, many times. I'll be calling next week's instructors to make sure that they're lined up. And that's why we don't, very often come on the air and say, well, Joe Dokes was supposed to be with us. I have no idea what's going on. I'm not prepared. I have no idea what to do. So, I don't let that happen. And I know you don't let that happen. So there's a lot of behind the scenes things that happen to make this puzzle all go together. There's, from my perspective, I've got, computers that I'm responsible for, not a network that, has an IT team that maintains and keeps these computers up and running. I do it. So there are a lot of things that I do. And we talked about how you would build your studio at your home because the technology has changed since you've been broadcasting. The equipment that you have is, we can do a better job in terms of better fidelity audio, by changing a few pieces of gear. And we found how you can buy some of it on eBay for, very low cost and have your studio. But, Mike, one of the things that I have found, there are people who have come to the expo and they go, wow, you're on the radio, and I was on the radio with you, Vinny, and that looks like an easy thing to do. I'm going to do it. I want to do it. Okay, well, I'll help you. And I'll help these guys, and they generally have not taken, my advice. Not that I want to tell them what to do. I just tell them what works and what doesn't work, ways of doing things, and how you can avoid going to the radio station per se and have your own studio and therefore cut out 2 hours of commute time per day, and use that time for your preparation. And then, if you're in a radio studio, you're using the equipment that the last guy who was on the air just left, and he doesn't really care generally about leaving it in an orderly condition for you. He's just caring about his own needs as a broadcaster. And so you end up with computers that, either maybe shut off, or computers that need to be rebooted, or computers that just, where's the mouse? That kind of stuff. Somebody borrowed the mouse or the headphones. And you end up with all that. But if you do your own studio, you are in control of the way you left it last. And we talked about that. So there are a lot of things to think about. And this is a broadcast for those of you who may be thinking about radio. You may think about why. And Mike, you mentioned how you got into it. And I got into it for the last thing I wanted to do was go on the radio. Believe me, the last thing Mrs. Finelli wanted me to do was go on the radio. We were living under a rock and everything was good, and, we were under the radar. Not anymore. But you ran for office? I ran for office. I wanted to put on an expo. And what happened to me, Mike, was something similar to what happened to you. Wanted to put on an expo, And I wanted to advertise, and I was, on the across the desk from the station manager, and he said, okay, here's an advertising package. And I said, I can't justify spending that much money on advertising. Next thing I know, he said Wednesday or Friday. I said, what do you mean? He said, would you like your own show on Wednesday or Friday? And we picked Wednesday right after the Dave Ramsey show. That was a pretty hard act to follow, never being on radio before. Then I got on another station across town 5 days a week. And you're right. You have to pay to play. Because right now, radio has become a revenue source. The programmers, the people who do the broadcasting actually have to pay to be on the radio. Now, we don't pay to be on Genesis. But if you want to be on local affiliates, yeah, you have to pay. And the more affiliates you can get to sign up, the more you have to pay. And then you have to figure out how you're going to pay for that. I mean, how do you pay? Let me ask the class. How do you pay for $100 an hour of radio on one affiliate? Let's say you have 10 affiliates at $100 an hour. That's $1,000 an hour. And with us, that'd be $2,000 a day for affiliates. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without a Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting GoBerkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection. Security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free tactical scarf for a limited time with any body armor package. That's CATIarmor.com. Come and take it.
Mike Parsons is with us, and we're talking about radio. We're talking about how he got involved and how I got involved. And so, Mike, you know, it can be a fairly expensive proposition, and the idea is that what you do is you get some advertisers to advertise on your broadcast, and, boy, wouldn't that be nice if they can cover the cost? Well, that's not necessarily the case. So another thing that I've found, Mike, is, and maybe you have found something similar. We have never discussed this, but, you know, I've talked to guys who want to do their own radio show, and I help them get started, and very, very rarely do they succeed. They just don't seem to go the distance. You know, they think it's easy. They think all they have to do is, you know, they know some buddies, and, you know, they can sit around the microphone and they can talk about whatever their field of expertise is, and they just show up at the studio and off they go. And sometimes you hear things like, well, and it doesn't go off very well.
No, the reality is that it takes a lot of preparation, and unlike the pundit who can sit on the couch or going down the road and listen, and he can come up with something that's very poetic and call in and throw it out there, and it sounds really sharp and crisp, and if he does a lot of time public speaking, he'll sound really good, and somebody might say, well, that guy could be a radio host. He probably could, but the reality is that you run out of things to say real quick because you only know so much. So then you start doing research, and for me, I started on a Sunday night. I had a 3-hour time slot. I had a co-host. Well, my co-host lasted for 2 shows, and then he bailed, and then it was just me. So I would spend literally every day of the week gathering news information, basically stealing from everybody else and putting together a monologue and some points. Then I got moved to Saturday, and then I could do the gun show, so I could go to all these different events. I could do my remote broadcast, and that was really great because I met a lot of people, and I would try to attract sponsors because that's the hardest thing is to get people to help offset the cost. Well, did that for a while, and then I was railroaded into the jailhouse for about a month because I was 10 minutes late to a motion hearing. And then when I got out, well, that time slot's gone. So, but guess what, Mike? We've got Monday through Friday for 30 minutes you'll have right after Alex Jones. Same money, so I'm getting less time for the same money, but it's prime time. So I said, great. Well, little did I know it would take 4 hours every day, Monday through Friday, to prepare a 30-minute monologue. So you realize that the Tonight Show, when you see Jay Leno, he's got a crew of people that do nothing but put together his 10-minute monologue. Well, you're just doing this by yourself, friend. It's just you and whatever you can come up with. So in order to sound halfway intelligent, you have to work. This is a job. And you don't have time for all the other things that need to be taken care of. And if you're like me and Vincent, you have a farm, guess what? There's some give along the way. Otherwise, you don't keep the farm or the marriage. You have to take care of responsibilities. So therefore, you're putting in a lot of time to do this. And then it becomes an issue of, well, is this really worth it? I'm not making any money. Am I getting a point across? What's the bigger picture? Well, for some people, like yours truly, it's a matter of a ministry, a mission. It's to educate people about what's going on so they can be prepared, so they can have a clue, so that we as a team, you know, it's like this. A pack of wolves survives because when the wolf on the outer end of the pack sees a threat coming, he howls and alerts. Then they all start howling. Well, then the threat hears this entire orchestra of howling and says, whoops, I better not go over there. There's a bunch of them. We should be like that pack of wolves, friends. We need to be howling. Anytime somebody's in distress, we need to be there, Johnny on the spot, in truckloads of people standing with that person, and the parasites, they'll back off. But until that happens, this country is slowly, bit by bit, being consumed and taken over by a corrupt parasite. And there's nothing that will change that until we come together. And that's just the way it is.
Mike, there's something that's really, really bothering me, and this thing has been festering for a whole week. It has nothing to do with you. I've been doing a meetup for 5 years. And lately I've been saying, I let the whole meetup group know that, I dumped my cell phone. I don't have a cell phone. I don't have a cell phone. I don't have a cell phone. And I've been saying, tell you what, if we're going to have these meetups and I'm going to say things that you might want to hear, I don't want any cell phones in the restaurant. Now, we take over the entire restaurant. Well, I have to remind everybody, any of you have cell phones? Oh, would you put them in your car, please? Because everybody agreed they would do that. Well, I'll tell you what happened when we come back at the last meetup.
No way. Is that a real bullet necklace?
No, it's a 9mm bullet necklace with matching earrings, you'll notice.
Those are awesome. Where'd you get them?
Dave found them at PatriotNecklace.com.
Wow.
They have a variety of calibers and necklaces and earrings and keychains.
PatriotNecklace.com?
PatriotNecklace.com.
Your choice of caliber bullet includes a rugged American-made stainless steel dog tag chain. A percentage of every sale goes to military and service-related charities. And get a discount by entering GCN at checkout. Show your patriotism and support our troops with a bullet necklace from PatriotNecklace.com. Virtually anyone can hack your cell phone and track your calls, your texts, your emails, your every movement, but only if they can detect a signal. Stay one step ahead of hackers and Big Brother with a Block-It Pocket, a custom-made pocket infused with pure silver that creates a complete Faraday enclosure for your cell phone. For free shipping to the lower 48, visit blockitpocket.com or call 888-315-9618, blockitpocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
That's the sound your brain makes when you realize you're buying something and forgot the coupon. Online or in a store, knowing that you're missing a deal is the worst. You need the app from Retail Me Not right now. Get thousands of coupons from 50,000 stores like Kohl's, Domino's, Best Buy, and more with crazy deals like 60% off, free shipping, and free gifts with purchase. You can get a text invite to download the Retail Me Not app 100% free right now for Apple or Android. Just text the code UPDATE to 42767. Then just show your phone at checkout to save. It literally couldn't be easier. It's 2015. Keep your coupons in your phone. Stop what you're doing and text UPDATE to 42767. Listeners will get a text with a link to download it 100% free. Never forget another coupon again. Text the code UPDATE to 42767 right now. That's UPDATE to 42767. Message and data rates may apply. For terms and privacy, visit retailmenot.com.
This is Dan Pillett. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Did you know that drinking pure, high-alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
Okay, honey, I have to ask, and be honest here. Have you been taking a little blue pill? Because things have been pretty good in the bedroom lately.
No, I swear.
You didn't pick anything up at the Pharmacia last month in Cancun?
No.
Well, something's different.
I have been taking that heart and body extract you bought me.
But that's for your heart and to control your cholesterol.
Well, I read HB extract also promotes healthy prostate function.
I never guessed it would work this well, but
you're glad it did.
Oh, yeah.
Heart and Body Extract is a 100% organic formula that promotes a strong heart, healthy arterial flow, better circulation, improves erectile and prostate gland function, and provides youthful energy, strength, and stamina. Find out more at heartandbodyextract.com. Heart and Body Extract paired with healthy heart choices is a winning combination. Call toll-free to order or for free information. 1-866-295-5305. 1-866-295-5305.
Class, USAprepares.com instructor Mike Parsons is with us. And we're talking about broadcasting. So, Mike, here's a little anecdotal evidence of how tough this struggle is going to be for us to alert the villagers. So at the meetup, we've been doing this for 5 years, and I've been telling the meetup group some inside information that I think they need to know about. I'm not violating any trust, but I'm telling them information I believe is critical for them to consider in their planning. Okay, we'll call it that. I'm not talking about secrets. I'm talking about things that I've learned through discussions and research, and I've connecting of dots and things. So I've mentioned to the group, I really don't want cell phones to be turned on remotely and our conversations at the meetup to be monitored. So I asked how many of you, would like me to share some things with you that I do not want to broadcast to those spying ears and eyes at the other end of the cell phone cameras and microphones. And so they decided that we would not have cell phones at the meetup. Okay. So meetup after meetup, I have to remind everybody, no cell phone. So I said at the last meetup, last Monday, okay, before I continue, I stopped the meetup. I said, before I continue, do any of you have cell phones on? Do you have cell phones with you? And, oh yeah, geez. So like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people got up and I said, okay, bring them to your car. And our waiter, kitchen manager, Mike Hicks, said, yeah, I can collect your cell phones, put them in a basket and take them in the kitchen, out of the way. And, so this group, who forgot, put them in their cars. So I went on and to give my monologue and describe the news and what's happening, and a cell phone rings in the restaurant. There's a guy with a cell phone. Like everybody turned around. I was like, oh man, that was a bad thing. Because here's one guy who left his cell phone on or wasn't paying attention. And here's the point, Mike. We have to remind people day after day after day after day, the same thing over and over and over. We know that cell phones are being tracked. We know they're being monitored. We know the cameras can be turned on remotely. We know that they can cause cancer. We know all these things. But there is no one who is willing to get rid of his cell phone. Nobody except me. Now, what I'm saying is, we have the ability to telegraph and communicate all our plans, our most secret thoughts, things that we share privately, allegedly, on our cell phones with other people, and they're being monitored and stored and tracked ad infinitum forever. So if we can't, Mike, it's an uphill battle is what I'm saying. If we can't get people even dump their cell phones, how do we have a chance of getting them to do the important things?
Well, the problem is people have been conditioned for too long, and there's nothing like necessity. And when the power goes out, when these people find out that they can't communicate with their tracking devices anymore, and they can't go to the refrigerator because the power's out, and they can't go to the store because, there's a roadblock because it's martial law, and they don't have any food, and their neighbors are pounding on the door, they're wanting to see if they can borrow food. When it really hits them square in the face, it's one thing to sit back and hear Mike Parsons tell about his stories. You can go to MikeParsons.org and you can read the narrative and updates, and you can kind of get a glimpse of what I've been through and my family's been through and realize that can happen to you. And if you're not ready to deal with it, you will be no different and possibly worse. So, I survived. I'm alive. And there was 2 hits on my life that I know of while I was in Henning, Tennessee. There was one when I was locked up the last time, and I was able to avoid those. But that doesn't always happen. People die in jails and prisons every day, and you get immune to this. You get, it's like in the 9th grade, the high school my son was going to wanted to show him Schindler's List. Well, it's an R-rated movie, but it shows full frontal nudity, rape scenes, and extreme violence of murder and such from Nazi Germany. Well, I previewed the video, and I said, absolutely not. No way. Well, I'm the only parent out of all these students, apparently, who's ever said no, so I get calls from the school board. Well, what's the problem? I said, well, I reviewed the movie, and this will desensitize my son. Oh, no, it will sensitize him to the horrors. I said, ma'am, he can read a book. He does not need to have these visual images, because once you see this, that's why cops can't be cops for so long, because they get numb. They become immune to the pain and the grief and the evil. And sometimes they become the evil, especially when they get on Prozac and all these other drugs that Dr. Richard Allen Miller spoke of yesterday. You need to listen to that show. He reveals some things. This is the reality that people are having to deal with daily. And if you're not prepared, you're not going to be able to survive very well. And so what we're talking about is things that, as Vincent's describing, people just don't get it. I used to travel, as most people did of my age, I'm 54, with no cell phone, in cars that were barely kept together, and drive down to the coast some 400 or 500 miles away on spring break and vacation and stuff. And if we broke down, we would walk to the nearest junkyard, get parts, and fix our car with tools that we had in the trunk of our car. And our girlfriend could sit there with the car and watch it with no problem, because she's got the shotgun. And the sheriff's deputy pulled over, knew that she had a gun, so he knew that she's guarding the car, and there was no problem. Well, that was then. This is now. She's liable to be shot just because she's got a gun, and she looks suspicious because she's parked on the side of the road. Things have changed, and if you're not keeping up with what's going on, and if you're not prepared, you're going to have a hard time. I know that Vincent is daily trying to educate people, and he drops information very poetically all the time on how to do this for those that are paying attention. And I tell you, sometimes you might find that it's mundane to listen to the same guest over and over, but if you listen, you're going to find nuggets of gold in every episode on this radio program. The problem that most people in radio have is keeping the lights on, because you're doing everything. And I know that there's a lot of people out there listening that have businesses that could sponsor this show. Vincent's show is one of those that has a ton of listeners. And yes, you won't get calls necessarily immediately, but that's just the nature of the beast of advertising. There's no reason that Vincent should have to reach out for advertisers with such a format. This is the only show on the radio in this time slot that's got this information anywhere in this country where you can get the people that have the information daily. Now, with my show, if I have a sponsor that wants to jump up and say, hey, I want to advertise on your show, I want to be in the Memphis market, then it might happen. But if not, then it won't happen. And right now, I don't have a show, but Vincent does. Right now, Vincent has a show. He's got an audience. He's got the TalkStream numbers where they should be, up there and climbing. And that's where your market is right now. And so those people that are listening that are considering advertising, that's, if I'm a numbers guy, that's where I'm going, where the people already are.
Mike, it's interesting you say that. I was talking to a manufacturing company about solar equipment. I mentioned this previously on the air. And I wanted them to be have an instructor, someone who's really, really knowledgeable at the manufacturing level of how solar panels work, how solar systems work, ohms, watts, amps, wire gauge, inverters, charge controllers, the different technologies involved. And, start with a 101 and really get down to this serious engineering level so that we could build a system on my system for our home. And I've got a prototype, and it's installed. But It's not the final system. And what I ran up against was, well, how many people listen? I don't know. I don't know. I literally do not know how many people are listening. And no one does. Rush Limbaugh doesn't know how many people are listening to him. And I said,
and they try to sell you, Armatron will try to sell you a rating structure where they speculate based on how many people call into your show or how many people call the sponsors and things like that. I had the Alex Jones show ahead of me, so I had a lead in. I had a huge audience already, and Armatron wanted to sell me numbers, and I said, I can't afford it. I don't have $10,000 for you to tell me who's listening, because I can't tell who's listening. I knew they couldn't tell. It's just a sham game. But, you know, they have people that buy their ratings and numbers. And finally the guy said, well, you know, you're kind of a, you know, newcomer and everything. You got about 85,000 people a day listening, according to our numbers. I said, cool, appreciate the information. Have a good day. But I don't know that, and neither does anybody else. And that's the thing. There's no way that you can speculate definitively how many people. Nobody can. You don't know how many people have their radio tuned in. Now, on the Internet, yes, they can track it. Phone calls, listening, yes, Genesis. And, oh, by the way, I learned something. Every time you call that number, that 605-562, what was that number?
Well, there's another number. The latest one is 605-477-3249. 605-477-3249. That's our number. When
you call that number, the phone company actually has to pay for your call to go in. It's through a treaty that was done, and it's an old law. And not only do you get to listen for free, Genesis doesn't have to pay, but the phone company has to pay. It's a great deal.
Yeah,
because it goes to the reservation.
Yeah, and by the way, Mike, I've gotten a lot of complaints from our class saying, and not with this number, with a previous number, actually two previous numbers, that they would call, and one guy, Morgan, who comes to our meetups all the time, he's probably listening right now on his phone, told me that, he showed me his phone, he said, I've dialed 11 times, and I keep getting disconnected. And some of our California listeners have said, hey, look, you know, the AT&T has called, and they've canceled my long distance, my unlimited long distance, because I listened to your show, USA Prepares, on the phone, and they cancel my unlimited long distance. They shut it down. These are the kind of tactics that the phone companies are using. So, but we've got a new number, 605-477-3249, and right now it works great. I called it yesterday, I called it today. Mike Parsons is with us, and we're talking about radio. And if you're interested in working with Mike Parsons, contact me. Vincent at USA Prepares. Vincent at USA Prepares. Type Mike Parsons, Parsons, in the subject line, and I will put you in touch with Mike Parsons. Mark and Philly, you're next. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah. When your child has a sore throat, you need to know when to get help. The doctor recommended Say Ah Sore Throat Exam is your solution. The scientifically designed oral retractor offers a clear view of the throat, relaxing the tongue and minimizing gag reflex. Compare with a medical grade chart, website, and app. Then you'll know just what to tell your doctor. A wellness plan in your hands in minutes. Go to SayAHHnow.com. SayAhNow.com, the new mainstay for every family's first aid kit.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free tactical scarf for a limited time with any body armor package. That's CATIarmor.com. Come and take it.
You pick up the receiver. With your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead, you finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason! Jason! Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the host you're listening to right now, online at GCNlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at GCNlive.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Mike Stenerson from Midas Resources. At no time in history have precious metals been more important, certainly not in my 22 years in the industry. The dollar has lost over 90% of its value in the last 60 years. No fiat currency has ever survived the government printing presses. Ours is not immune. The time is now to be proactive. 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Anything tied to the dollar is at risk. CDs, annuities, 401ks, IRAs, stocks, bonds, you name it, so decide. Do you want to leave a legacy of wealth or debt for your family? The choice is yours. Call me at 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Be proactive, not reactive. Call 1-800-686-2237, extension 116.
My name's Clyde, age 59, and I reside in Florence, South Carolina. The doctors diagnosed me as having clogged arteries. Felt like I was carrying heavy concrete blocks around my feet and legs. I started taking Heart and Body Extract as directed. It is less than 3 weeks and I'm like a young man again. It's unbelievable that an herbal formula can work so fast and so powerfully.
Learn the secrets of an effective, natural, 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation at hbextract.com.
Class Mike Parsons is with us. We're talking about radio, and I just wanted to mention that, you can have a brilliant broadcast. You can be absolutely stellar. And you can go to a radio station. You can say, I got this broadcast. I think it's pretty good. Would you take a listen and see what you think? And you talk to the management and they go, yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. You're right. It's pretty good. And then the next question they have is, do you have any money? Mike, is that correct?
Yeah, that's it. And what you're going to learn, folks, real fast is that those people that seem to be moved around like the, all the neocons of the world, the Ben Fergusons of the world, they'll move from station to station because they're paid. They're not paying for their airtime. They're reading a script. And the difference between those shows and this show is that there's no script. You're not getting propaganda. You're getting what we see as the directions and the truth that needs to be exposed. And
yeah, and when you talk, and we've got Mark in Philly who's with us. He's just joined us, and I potted him up. So one thing I do want to mention is, Mike, we talk about preparing for a show, and the reason we do that is we do research. Okay, so it's not like there is a script that a part would say Vincent says this, and then Mike says this, and back to Vincent, and then back to Mike. It's not like that. But what we may do, but we didn't do it for this broadcast, class, is we may have some talking points too. We may say we want to make sure that we cover these five topics. We may do something like that, and we may research them so that we can bring in some facts and figures and so forth. So those kinds of things that we do. However, like John Regan will do that, and he'll have 15 stories that we will talk about on the air, and he's researched them. So that is, there's preparation involved. Mark in Philly, welcome.
Yes, gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to make a disclaimer. I do not take any medications, including aspirin. I don't radiate my food. I don't have a cell phone, nor have not used one for 5 years. So I'm not radiated. So also,
that's great.
So what I'd like to say is that I didn't know your stature, Vincent, because I always thought you were 10 feet tall. Because every time I listen to your show, I always feel taller. I stand more erect, and I'm fired up. So
when Ron Allen first did the recording of our introduction, I said, I can just imagine what the audience might think. And I went to a meetup once, several years ago, and this woman looked at me like, "You're Vincent Finelli?" And I said, "Yeah, well, I was taller before I started."
Well, just know you inspire me to action, Vincent, and I'd like to bring something to your attention. I wrote you an email and I sent this to you, a link to it, the earlier segment talking about corruption. You can go, people need to go to noplaceforcorruption.com, noplaceforcorruption.com, and there's a lot of good information on there, especially about the Philadelphia area and the connection with a lot of corruption that's happened around in our whole country. And remember, Philadelphia is the birthplace of our nation. It was the original capital, and they've been at this particular group has been at this for a long time. But anyway, I want to bring to your attention and to your audience attention, there's a PDF over to the left-hand side. You can download that PDF. It's 862 pages long. Now, I read the whole thing. It took me several days, but I read the whole thing. But I'm going to boil it down for you. You guys can skip to the chase and go to page 780 and read through 811, and it will give you some pieces of history chronologically, and there's a lot of stuff there that I did not know about, was not aware of, and it will blow your mind. It'll stir you up. I couldn't sleep last night. If that's the part I read last night, and I could hardly sleep. And so the thing is, what I'd like to leave you with is you've experienced some battles, Vincent. Mike has experienced some battles. I've lost 2 families because of this cultural war, and it is a cultural war, folks. Now, maybe you haven't experienced it directly, but it's coming. It's been a covert, clandestine war up until now, but now it's becoming an overt war. We've got to wake up. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Mike.
Mark and Philly, thanks so much for being with us. And class, I'm posting No Place for Corruption right now on the website so that you can go to it. And there's a link on page 1 of usaprepares.com to Mike Parsons' website. So if you'd like to read more about him, see a picture of our instructor who's a broadcaster and a dear friend with a ponytail, Mike Parsons. And Mike, I want to thank you for being with us. And if you'd like to talk to Mike about his radio show, or if you want to talk to me about our radio show, or Mike and me, give us a call or go to the website. By now you know that usaprepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? usaprepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit usaprepares.com. That's usaprepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. usaprepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.